Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So I've got the gremlins today. Absolutely got the gremlins. So everything's gone wrong this morning. I hope you're all going to be able to find me on this live. Um, so there was a few of you waiting for the live. I had to cancel the live because it was doing the double studio and it was echoing, and so I had to completely remove that live that people were on and chatting on, and I've had to set up another one. I hope you all find me, the ones that were there on the other live. It's just been one of those God, it's only bloody 12 o'clock. It's already one of those days. Things going wrong. Anyway, I'm here now, but I've got to sort of finish setting up this stream because it's a new stream. The other one I had to cancel, remove, so I just need to put a thumbnail up for this one. Oh, sometimes I just feel like giving up on technology. Just drives me mad. It's all right when it all goes okay. When it doesn't go okay, like now. Anyway, I'm still going to do what I was going to do. I'm going to talk about Nancy Guthrie. There's a few things to talk about. We've got, sorry, I'm just setting up the thumbnail, etc. Yeah, so we've got a few things to talk about. So we've got to talk about what's happening with Sheriff Nanos. There was a meeting about his future. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at the fact that Savannah Guthrie has now been offered this new job doing Wordle. Honestly, this case is completely surreal, isn't it, really? It just is pretty surreal. Um, just weird things. Anyway, what else we're going to look at? Oh, so now, some people have been saying, leaving comments and saying on X, etc. Is Porch Guy actually Porch Gal? Is it a woman disguised? I mean, I do, I'm not saying, I have no clue. So the first thing I just want to say is, in this case, I feel like I've got no clue at all, because official information is non-existent. So what you've got out there is lots of podcasters and retired FBI agents, etc., all holding forth, giving their opinions. But even from the experts, they are only opinions. We don't know if Porch Guy was a guy or a gal. To me, it looks like it was completely staged. Anyway, I don't know if I even believe that Porch Guy is sort of what he appears to be. Looks, the more I look at that video, I feel like it was completely staged. Just the way he held the gun, like, look, I've got a gun. Look at this big rucksack. Look, I'm getting these flowers and covering up the camera. Look at this. Look at that. It's all a distraction, isn't it? That's how it feels to me. And it hasn't got any better, that feeling. I don't know that Porch Guy is even a real person. I mean, he's obviously a person, but it's somebody pretending to be a kidnapper, or is it really a kidnapper? I've got no clue. I'm bamboozled. I think we're all bamboozled. And of course, as I say, this lack of information from any official sources means that you get all this speculation every time I go on X or YouTube. There's a new theory from some ex-FBI agent who says this or says that, and then that proves not to be true, and then something else. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. What else? So there were a few things that, and then we're going to look at the letter, the email that has been sent out by the residents of the Catalina foothills, telling people how to grieve. I mean, honest to God, what is wrong with that community? You know, they just telling people not to leave flowers. If people want to leave flowers, let them leave flowers. How dare they tell people how to grieve or what to do? Oh, give some money to charity. Well, F off. You know, maybe people don't want to give some money to charity. They want to go and leave a note or a flower or, how dare you tell people how to grieve? So it's just mad, this case, isn't it? It's mad. Anyway, first of all, I just want to say thank you. I can see that some of the people that were on my previous live haven't found their way on here, and I'm sorry about that. Nothing I could do. I had to cancel it. It wasn't working. It was. Anyway, thank you to those of you who watch my videos. Thank you to those of you who like them, share them. Special thank you to subscribers. That's very important. It's a free way that you can help support my channel. Even more special thank you to members. Tonight we are going to have a members live. I'm not sure exactly what time yet. We're just going to talk about anything you want to talk about. It'll be a chat. But so yeah, probably about 8:30 Spanish time. Another special thank you to those of you buy Ko-fis and Bizums or PayPals, etc. All the extra ways you help my channel. Thank you. I really appreciate it. God, I've got a headache already. I've got a headache already because everything's gone wrong this morning. Oh, I can feel it in my head. I need to take an ibuprofen. Ibuprofen, my saviour. Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much. Hi, Lily. Lily's here in the chat. You managed to find me. Thank you for that. I want to also say hello, you lovely lurkers. Hello to replay crew. Kiss for each. Thank you so much. I hope you're all well, looking after yourself. It is the 13th of May, so it's been over 100 days that Nancy Guthrie was stolen from her bed, if she was stolen from her bed. Do you know what? Well, I think we're at a point where we don't even know what's true, do we? Did she ever make it home? I don't know. Was she in bed asleep when this porch guy or gal came into the house? Did they wake her up? Was she in bed and they brandished the gun and woke her up? How did they get her out of the house? How did they get in the house? We don't know the answer to anything. All we know is that Nancy has disappeared. We don't know if she's alive, if she's dead. We don't know who took her. Was she kidnapped? Was it a staged kidnapping? Is it to do with the family, not to do with the family? Is it a paid thing? Are the kidnappers real? Is there more than one? Is this a woman? We know nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Not for certain, do we? Really, the more you look into everything is purely speculation. Did this man have anything to do with it? Luke Daly, one of the people that was detained but released. And I put him here, because then when he went and did his interview with Brianna Whitney, he looked completely different than he used to look, because he used to have black curly hair and facial hair, but he hasn't anymore. Not when he did his interview. He was also dressed up in about, looked like he was trying to make himself look bigger than he was. So did he have anything to do with it? What about Cameron? What about the family? Did Cameron have something to do with it? We don't know. Savannah. Some people have left messages or comments on my videos saying that Savannah is porch guy. I mean, I'm laughing because I don't think Savannah is porch guy. But you know what? I think people are just saying things like this because They have no idea. Oh, the favourites, of course, as far as the family concerned, are Annie and Tommaso, because they're the last people to see Nancy alive. She was at their house. Well, apart from the kidnappers, whoever they are, she was at their house the night before. She went there in an Uber, but we haven't seen the video of her in the Uber. Apparently, then Tommaso brought her home. Every day or next is another addition to the timeline, a change. Most of it because this guy, Sheriff Nanos, is an absolute fool. So, of course, this case put a lot of spotlight on Sheriff Nanos, and now, they're baying for his resignation. Now, the thing is about Sheriff Nanos, he was elected as sheriff. It's not a post he was appointed to. So it's more difficult to remove him. Can't just sack him because he's an elected representative. And he only just won, and there's allegations of, vote rigging and things like that and malpractice. Again, I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, this case is an absolute SHIT show, isn't it? If it wasn't so serious that an 84-year-old woman has disappeared into the ether, it'd almost be comical. But of course, it's not comical because what's happened to this lady? Where is she? So I think we'll start with having a look at Sheriff Nanos and what's being said about him. And there was a meeting. So there's a recall being set in process for him to try and remove him. Then there was a meeting by the Board of Supervisors. Anyway, I just want to show you this news article. Let me just take that. I've got to take that picture off because I can't find it. Take it off. There. So let's have a look at this news article. I'm just going to hold it up on the phone. So. Sorry. Do you know when once one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong, doesn't it?
And we begin with breaking news. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this special edition of Newsport Tucson at 8. I'm Sean Mooney. The Pima County Board of Regents is discussing potential actions to be taken against Sheriff Chris Nanos. News for Tucson's John Bacaluso is live at their meeting right now. John, what can you tell us about this meeting tonight?
Well, Sean, this all stems from Sheriff Nanos allegedly misinterpreting, he's accused of misrepresenting his work history. Now, at this meeting that's still currently going on, board members voted 4-1, 4 ayes, 1 abstention to look into referring Sheriff Nanos for perjury to the Attorney General. Now, in that conversation, Supervisor Scott argued that Sheriff Nanos has lost faith in his leadership. Andres Cano points out the board does not have the power to remove an elected official, which is why when Supervisor Steve Christie pushed for that, there were no seconds. Now, we just got now from the sheriff's side.
Yeah, the thing is they can't remove him because he's elected official. So that's what makes it more complicated. If he was just appointed by the actual department, it would be easier to remove him. But so he's been accused of perjury. I mean, perjury is a very serious offence, especially for someone who's in a position like Nanos is, lying about his resume, misleading, saying he hadn't ever been suspended, but it turned out he was suspended many times.
From his lawyer a little bit earlier today, and we were told that at this point they want to respect the process and afford the Board of Supervisors the time they need to review the sheriff's report. The sheriff remains open to engaging in an interactive process to answer any questions or address any concerns the board may have. Now, we haven't gotten an update from Sheriff Nanos just yet. We will reach out and get more information on his response. Of course, we'll have more information on what happened here too coming up on News 4 at 10. Reporting here downtown, John Macaluso, News 4 Tucson.
Yeah, so this is going to be this is big news in Tucson. Aside from the Nancy Guthrie case, now at the end of the day, sadly, Nancy Guthrie's case is probably just one of many cases that they're dealing with, or maybe, serious cases. But what it has done is highlighted this process. I think Sheriff Nanos would have just been under the radar, wouldn't he? But now suddenly this high profile case, everybody's talking about how rubbish he is, how badly he's dealt with it. He's not communicating properly with the FBI, apparently. Then, of course, it came out that that's because he's been investigated by the FBI in 2016. And apparently, the more you learn about that investigation, one of the other people that was being investigated took their own life. So these must have been serious allegations. And we must say that Sheriff Nanos, no action was taken against him. So although he was investigated by the FBI, no action was taken. Nothing was ever found. Not enough evidence was ever found to prosecute him with anything. So but he hasn't got much time for the FBI, has he? Hates the FBI. That is what people are saying is the reason behind withholding that DNA from the FBI and other information, etc. Is it true? We don't know, really, do we? So it is a right mess, isn't it? And of course, who's suffering because of that is Nancy and her family, because if the family are not involved and there's, Sheriff Nanos has said they're not, then have they been let down by the Pima County Sheriff's Department, by Sheriff Nanos? What is really happening? And people keep saying, oh, something's about to break. Something's about to break. Something's brewing. Well, it's been like that. I've been saying that for months. This is over 100 days that Nancy has been missing. Do they even know any more than they knew before? Yeah, so 2 people detained, but no arrests made. Pay your money and take your choice as to what happened here. My own personal opinion is this is not a kidnap. This is a staged kidnapping. And the ransom notes were deliberately sent to lead the police off. But I don't know who would do that. And this is only my own theory. Because that whole porch thing just seems so contrived to me. The way he's there with the gun right there showing, in his jeans, in the front of his jeans. Why isn't it in that rucksack that it's got all that stuff packed in? The grabbing the flowers and it just all looks completely staged. And now and then the ransom notes, the FBI has not been able to trace where they came from, as far as we know. Who sent them? If it was someone with special knowledge, because even Savannah said she felt that 2 of the ransom notes were genuine, and she'll have said that because that's what the FBI will have told her. But why have they not found where they've come from? Oh, it's all weird. It's all weird and wonderful, this case, isn't it? More of the weird and less of the wonderful. So let's have a look at Porch Guy and this theory that some people have that Porch Guy is actually Porch Gal. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not because I think it's funny. It's because it's just as possible as anything, isn't it? So on an X account that I follow, I think it was Shanna Lee. I'll show it in a moment. She went to great lengths. I thought it was very interesting. Apparently, you can buy these kind of masks online. The thing is, if somebody wants to disguise their identity, you can buy these sort of mask things. Or, of course, you can just put on some heavy makeup like Charlie Chaplin, or that's why I put Charlie Chaplin on this comparison of Luke Daly. You know, some thing is, if you want to put on a show, or pretend you're somebody else, or you look a different way. So, you know, a lot of people have made a big issue of the eyes of the perp, the guy that was caught on the woman. Some people say they've got a womanly shape. Other people say, no, it's definitely a man. But certainly their eyebrows and eyes were very dark, almost like they've got eyeliner on. That's how it looked to me when I saw it. But I'm not saying that eyeliner because they're necessarily a woman. I'm saying eyeliner because they're trying to cover up their appearance. That's, you know, that's just how it feels to me. What have I done with that picture? Yeah. To me, it looks like, that's why I put this picture of Charlie Chaplin. If you look what he used to do so that it would stand out when he was in black and white films, you know, the eyeliner around the eyes. That picture of Porch Guy, to me, looks like someone with eyeliner around their eyes. Is it because they are a woman, or have they just got very dark eyelashes? Some men do have very dark eyelashes. But even the bit of facial hair that you can see, it almost looks too black. But that might be just the camera and the way the camera is showing it. And, you know, Luke Daly's on that picture, but it might be nothing to do with Luke Daly. But to me, it did look like whoever the person is, man or woman, like some attempt has been made. I mean, how many masks have they got on? You look how chubby their face looks. The shape of the face does look like Luke's, to be fair. But I don't know that the eyes do. But what if it was eyeliner? Thing is, if they knew there was a camera there, you know, what would you? I've read about how when people disguise themselves, and people do. You know, if you want to disguise your appearance, the best thing you can do is something dramatic, because people will remember. So, for example, if you shave your head so you're bald, people will remember, oh, it was this bald guy, you know, who did it. Or if you put on a big nose or big ears or something distinctive, people will remember, witnesses will pick out what they remember, and people remember dramatic appearances, don't they? Like you know, like with Charlie Chaplin, that's why he used to put the makeup on, because it's black and white films and he had to stand out. It wasn't only him, you know, everyone in that era would wear a dark eyeliner, wouldn't they? You know, in the black and white film era. Nowadays, of course, people can stand out with colour and they don't need to do it. But yeah, like wear a big hat, a big floppy hat, or a long wig, you know, like, so that people say, oh yeah, they had long hair, or they were bald, or they had a great big moustache, or that's the best way to disguise yourself if you want to disguise yourself for whatever reason. I mean, there are many reasons why you might want to disguise yourself, not necessarily because you're committing a crime. I expect a lot of famous people go out disguised quite often, don't they? You know, they want to pop down the shop to the local Tesco You know, what's the best way to do it? Put your hoodie up, you know, put a balaclava, you know, if it's cold, obviously you have to fit in. I mean, the thing is, if you go out, if you disguise yourself with a balaclava up to here and it's like 100 degrees outside, that's going to stand out because people are going to think, why have they got balaclava on? That's not a good thing. You know, you have to fit in with it. Like if it was hot, you could wear a really bright Hawaiian shirt or something, and people will remember that. They'll remember that, or remember that your hair was in a ponytail, or remember that you had a mask on, a COVID mask, or something like that. So these are the things if you want to disguise yourself. That's what did feel. This is why I can't move away from Luke Daly as well sometimes, because I don't know why he had all those clothes on that day that he was interviewed by Brianna Whitney. It was 100 degrees, and he looked like he had about 4 different layers of clothes on. You know, it was very strange. Brianna had a tiny little red dress on, and there was him, and he had, of course, completely changed his appearance from how he looked a couple of years ago when he had curly black hair and facial hair. And by the time he did, I mean, that could be 2 different people, couldn't it? But it isn't. It's the same person. So did he deliberately try and hide his appearance? You know, I think it's possibility. Now I don't know because I don't know anything for sure. None of us do. And no matter how many ex-FBI profilers, you know, no matter how many of them come on with their expert opinion, they don't know what's happening. Nobody, except the current FBI and law enforcement. And even them, we don't know exactly what they know, do we? Because maybe they know nothing. I know nothing. It's it's a right mess, isn't it? I do think Luke's ears. Look at the ears. Something about the shape of the ears and the face there. Yeah. Anyway, or is it a woman? You know, is it someone with a female mask on? Thing is, whatever's happened to Nancy, it's a big thing, isn't it? This to take someone out of their house or to kill her or whatever, you know, the reason is for why Nancy has disappeared. It's a massive thing. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that someone would go to all that trouble to hide their appearance. You know, hopefully we'll never going to be in that position where we even consider kidnapping an 84-year-old woman. But imagine if you were going to, or you wanted to make it look as if it was a kidnapping. You would go to a great deal of trouble, wouldn't you, to cover up your identity? And as I say, it's quite sort of easy to. That this porch guy or porch gal might look absolutely nothing like that underneath, you know, because he may have a mask on, one of those silicone masks on underneath the balaclava. We don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they have. What I'm saying is we have no clue. We have no clue. All options are open, aren't they? Okay, so let me know what you think. Do you think it might be a woman? As I say, some people have left comments saying they think it is Savannah. I can't, no, I just don't think it's Savannah. But I just want to talk briefly about Savannah. So Savannah has been offered a new job. Let me show you. Wordle. Have you ever played Wordle? It was it was like maybe a year ago, was it? A couple of years ago when Wordle first became a thing, and it's sort of like the whole world was playing it, and every day Right. I think you can hear me again now. Good job you didn't hear me swearing then, actually. So I don't think you heard me swearing. So that's good. So yeah, Wordle is this word game, isn't it? Where you start off with one word at the top, and then you have a word at the bottom, and then you have to change the letters and get from one word to another. And it's sort of, really. Don't know, everybody was playing it, talking about it on social media, etc. So anyway, they're setting up a game show over there. Jimmy Fallon is producing it, and they've chosen Savannah to present it. And I find it really difficult. I find it really difficult to get my head around Savannah, because it is part of me understands exactly the fact that Savannah, she is in the public eye. This is her job. She hasn't just become a TV personality. She's always been a TV personality. That's her profession. That's what she does. So although, if you're not a TV personality, you can look at and think, how is she managing to go and host the Today Show? Or how is she managing to do this? What else is she going to do, really? It's been 100 days. Is she supposed to just sit in the house forever and never work again? She can't do that, can she? She's got a family, she's got young kids. So, she's doing what she does, which is she is a TV personality. Not just become one, she's always been one. She's been one for a long time. So, a lot of people sort of judge her a little bit, because think, how can she do this? How can she be in the public eye when her mum's missing and that? But does she just put her life on hold forever? She's got a professional career. I mean, they won't wait forever. She's been lucky they have waited for her, but the TV business, it's unforgiving. Do you know what I mean? They'll soon get rid of you, and if you don't come back, because at the end of the day, they've got to put the Today Show on every day. So if it's looking like Savannah's not coming back, they've got to find another host, haven't they? So they have been patient with Savannah. Also, it'd be improving ratings, and we've got to talk. The cold truth is, Jimmy Fallon has been clever giving this job to Savannah. You could take the cynical approach and think, well, yeah, because everyone's going to be tuning into this show, aren't they? Because everybody's going to want to see Savannah and how she's coping after Nancy's disappeared. So although it's, she's good at what she does as well. She's popular. She's got all those things going on. She is popular. She probably is a good choice for Wordle. She might have got this job anyway. Or, if you take the cynical view, is Jimmy Fallon being very clever, giving the job to Savannah, because he knows that everybody will be tuning into it for that reason. So Savannah's going to be hot property at the moment because of what's going on in her personal life. That's just the fact of life, isn't it? People are going to tune in and see how she's coping. So let me just put the sound on, and I did find it a little bit, I don't know, I just don't know what to say. You tell me what you think.
Expect that, and I just want to say thank you. It means so much to me.
We can't do it without you. We thought you're going to be great, and then you did it, and like 200 crew and cast, everyone was like, we can't do the show without Savannah Guthrie. You are fantastic.
You are the sweetest.
You are so good.
Jimmy,
you're funny.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's a big announcement.
I know it is. It's exciting.
We're bringing Wordle to TV.
Wordle is coming to TV.
NBC, come on, baby.
My God, yay.
Wordle, let's go, Wordle!
Oh, Craig. Oh, my.
Oh, we got some swag. You're so lucky. Yours is a 5-letter word. We had to make mine savvy.
Yeah, you like that?
Savvy's good
Jimmy
nickname.
and savvy. Here we go. When everything happened with me and my family, they just stopped everything and said, we'll wait for you.
Of course.
And Hollywood is like a really tough business, as you know. And I didn't expect that. And I just want to say Thank you. It means so much to me.
We can't do it without you. We thought you're going to be great. And then you did it, and like 200 crew and cast, everyone was like, we can't do the show without Savannah Guthrie. You were fantastic.
You are the sweetest.
You were so good.
Jimmy,
you're funny.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's a big announcement.
I know. It is. It's exciting.
We're bringing Word on the TV.
Wordle is coming to TV.
NBC, come on, baby.
Oh my God, yay.
Now, I think it's the Britishness in it. It's so gushy, isn't it? I think I would find this gushy even if her mum wasn't kidnapped, and nobody knew where she was or whether she was alive. But, I think Americans, no offense to any Americans that are watching, but I think Americans in general are more exuberant than British people are. We've got this, to me, I sort of watch that and I'm like, oh, but of course, and it's that profession as well. At the end of the day, you're in the entertainment industry. They're always larger than life, aren't they? So what do you think? I mean, I found it a little bit gushy, but I'm not sure how else she is supposed to act.
Oh, let's go!
Oh, Craig. Oh, my.
Oh, we got some swag. You're so lucky yours is a 5-letter word. We had to make mine savvy.
Yeah, you like that?
Savvy's a good
Jimmy
nickname.
and Savvy, here we go. When everything happened with me and my family, they just stopped everything and said, we'll wait for you.
Of course.
And Hollywood is like a really tough business, as you know. And I didn't expect that. And I just want to say thank you. It means so much to me.
We can't do it without you. We thought you're going to be great. And then you did it, and like 200 crew and cast, everyone was like, we can't do the show without Savannah Guthrie. You were fantastic.
You are the sweetest.
You were so good.
Jimmy,
you're funny.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's a big announcement.
I know. It is. It's exciting.
We're bringing Word on the TV.
Wordle is coming to TV.
NBC, come on, baby.
Oh my God, yay.
Wordle, let's go!
Oh, Craig. Oh, my.
Oh, we got some swag. You're so lucky yours is a 5-letter word. We had to make mine savvy.
Yeah, you like that?
Savvy's a good
Jimmy
nickname.
and Savvy, here we go. When everything happened with me and my family.
So, yeah, what do you think? Bit gushy? I don't know, but how else is she supposed to act? She is in the entertainment industry. So, what does she do? Just go and curl up and never move out the house again? And it could, at the end of the day, sadly, her mum may never be found. We may never have answers. So what's she going to do? Consign the rest of her life to the bin? She can't. So, and she's got a family, and this is what she does. This is what she does. So I just wanted to show you that. I did, anyway, you'll let me know what you think. You'll let me know what you think, won't you? Right, what else did I want to show you? So, oh yeah, I wanted to show you the letter from the residents. Now I've got that somewhere, and I'm going to read it out to you. Hi, Lily. Well, maybe you can put in the chat how Wordle works, because I don't remember. I did play it quite a lot when it first came out, but now it got, you just get bored, don't you? But you play it every day. It's good. It's good for your brain, cognitive function, isn't it? But yeah, maybe you can just explain in chat how it works, because I don't know. Okay, so right, I want to show. So, in the meantime, the good old Residents Association, where Nancy lives in Tucson, they don't want people around trying to solve this case. They don't want people searching for Nancy. They're trying to pretend it's never happened. So, some 84-year-old neighbour of theirs has been plucked out of her bed in the middle of the night, as far as they know. And they don't want anybody reporting on it, even though the perpetrator's not even been found. They went, no, shh, pretend it's not happening. Honest to God, I'm absolutely astounded by this neighbourhood organisation. Just ridiculous. Why weren't they so sort of attentive that they could maybe have prevented an 84-year-old woman being plucked from a bed or whatever. Now suddenly, God, someone's just got turned up there to lay some flowers and they're on the phone to the police. And the police around there bloody telling them to move. Oh, no, you can't lay flowers. Make a donation to a charity. How dare they tell someone to do that? I would never donate to a big charity anyway. I don't believe in donating to charities, great big charities, paying someone, some CEO, a massive wage. And I'm nowhere near there, so I can't go and lay a flower. But if I was nearby there, I would go and put something down. Probably not flowers because they don't last. But I would put some sort of a little statue or a little card or, something. How dare they? Honest to God, it made me really mad, actually. Because you know what? The streamers, whatever you think of them, don't think of them. They've certainly done more to help find Nancy than the neighbours have. What have the neighbours? What have the neighbours done to help find Nancy? Absolutely nothing. So it's just you feel like, do they even care? They're just trying to pretend nothing's happened. I get the feeling that they're actually irritated. How dare Nancy go and get kidnapped and, bring all this attention? Oh, how dare they? How dare she? It's all Nancy's fault, So, yeah, makes me mad. But anyway, so let's have a look. Now I'm going to read it out to you. Probably can't read that from there, so I'm going to read it. Going to make it bigger. Let's see where I can make it bigger. So, CFA message from the president, from the Catalina Foothills Association. Dear neighbours, I write this message with a very heavy heart as our friend and neighbour Nancy Guthrie remains missing. On behalf of the Catalina Foothills Association, I wish Nancy's family and close friends love and support. Our thoughts are with all of them. While we all share collective shock, sadness and disbelief, we have also been struck by the messages of caring and solidarity that the CFA has received from so many of you, and at the outpouring of gestures of kindness and compassion, such as tying yellow ribbons on the street in front of your own homes. We stand together. We realise that neighbours in close proximities to Nancy's house have been particularly affected and left feeling on edge by this horrific event. And as a result of the large numbers of people from outside our area who descended on Nancy's street and surrounding roads, we have received numerous reports of behaviour from non-residents that is disrespectful of neighbours and the surrounding areas. Although leaving flowers, missives and other items at Nancy's house has been fueled by good intentions due to javelinas, pack cracks, wind and increasing temperatures, we encourage well-wishers to make a donation to World Vision, an organisation that Nancy loves, rather than continuing to leave items at Nancy's house. I'm sorry, how dare they say that? Now, maybe Nancy does love that organisation. Well, we've only got their word for it for a start. But the thing is, how can you tell people how to grieve or how to show respect? You do this because we don't want you coming round our neighbourhood. Likewise, we encourage people to respect the privacy of neighbours and the Guthrie family and not continue to post to social media or YouTube. Whatever. To encourage such posts by engaging with or watching them. So you're not allowed to watch them now either. Don't engage with these streamers, podcasters, because they're telling you not to. How dare they? Honestly, it's made me so angry, this. Don't continue to post to social media or YouTube or encourage such posts by engaging them or watching them. So telling you what to watch now, who to engage with, what to watch. How dare they? The CFA board has dedicated many hours petitioning county decision makers to help address what has become untenable for many. The county, to me, see, what's untenable for me, if I lived there, would be the fact that this woman has been taken in the middle of the night and the people who did it haven't been caught yet. That's untenable to me. Not the people that are out there at least trying to maybe find her or keep awareness. Do we want Nancy to be forgotten like all the other missing people? You know, all the missing people that a lot of families would love to have the attention on their missing loved one that the Nancy Guthrie has had. But they don't want that. They want her to be forgotten. It's terrible. The county has been extremely sympathetic and responsive. Yes, shame that they weren't there protecting Nancy. Now, God, yeah, you get on the phone, they're there in 30 seconds. Listening as we relayed your concerns and has worked to address those as best they can, given legal and bureaucratic constraints. Thank you to them and to all of you who, despite frustrations with the crowds of outsiders, oh my God, for fuck's sake, sorry, excuse my French. Does that include the FBI? Don't talk to the FBI. They're outsiders. It's like the bloody Wicker Man or something. It's like, what the hell what is wrong with these people? Crowds of outsiders and related issues have been universally sympathetic to and supportive of Nancy and her family, as well as to each other. Honestly, I was absolutely gobsmacked when I read this. The CFA will be exploring initiatives and efforts that may facilitate or undertake directly to improve neighbourhood security. You know, the words sort of locking the door after the horse has bolted come to mind here. Improve neighbourhood security against the streamers. Listen, you're a kidnapper with a gun and you want to come and rob our houses, that's fine. We didn't even notice that happening in the middle of the night. Don't you come here and make a video and try and find Nancy. How dare you? If you are interested in being a part of any of these efforts or initiatives and otherwise joining a CFA committee or possibly the CFA board, please reach out to us. Nancy has been a resident of our neighbourhood for over 50 years. Yeah, but we just want to forget she ever existed now. Her children, like me and my children, and like many of you and yours, attended our local public schools. So they're not outsiders, they're not outsiders. As well as most of us who have lived here for decades. Nancy and her family are rooted in Tucson and the Catalina foothills, and she and her children and grandchildren have many, many close friends who are all suffering, waiting for any news of her whereabouts. Yes, they are suffering. But trying to pretend Nancy never existed isn't going to help, is it? I urge you to keep Nancy and her family in your thoughts and to respect their privacy. Our homes may be relatively far apart, but we as neighbours are closer than ever, whatever. I feel fortunate to be a part of this community. Well, I wouldn't be a part of that community if you paid me, literally, because that community, it's not community, is it? In my opinion, it's not community. They first and foremost, they can't stop streamers from walking down public roads and taking videos. Of course, they shouldn't trespass on people's properties and things like that. But how dare they? Honestly, if you read that, the more you read it, the more you think you're bloody cheap. So they're telling you how to pay your respects. They're, do this, don't do that. Everybody who's not from that area is an outsider, like there's some sort of, like some sort of weird, creepy film where, oh my God, you're an outsider, be gone. Like, this is, it is just unbelievable, unbelievable. And in the meantime, this woman's missing. They don't, no, I completely agree that when the perpetrator's found, somebody's been held accountable, that's the time to stop the streaming and this, that, and the other, of course, because they'll have some information then and they'll be concentrating on the perpetrator. But at the moment, nobody's been held accountable. So what, we're just going to pretend that Nancy never existed? Can't even leave a flower if you want to, according to them. You don't do that. No, you grieve as we tell you to grieve. God, how dare, it's like the Gestapo. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, I bet not all the residents feel like that. There's probably some of the residents feel better having the streamers around because, they're less likely to get burglarized, aren't they, if there's streamers around. What they want it to go back to this isolated place where there were always strange porch guys wandering around with rucksacks robbing people. The amount of videos I've seen of it, apart from Nancy's house, yours, but to me, I think that is disgraceful. I really do think it's disgraceful. So I hope the streamers carry on, to be honest. I hope they do carry on. And I'll carry on watching them. They're not going to tell me what to watch. So they're saying, oh, don't watch it, don't interact on social media. So you're not even supposed to, they're trying to tell you not to watch the streamers now. Don't encourage them, don't watch. How dare it? I bet they're watching. Well, we know they're watching because as soon as a streamer does anything that's remotely might be thought of as bad or whatever, they're on the phone to the police. So they're glued to these streamers. Glued to it. But of course, the rules don't apply to them. They're just telling everybody else what to do. But they'll probably just do whatever the hell they want. And then it makes you wonder about their motives. Just, I don't know, weird. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about that. Now, was there anything else that I wanted to show you? As I say, it's been one of those gremlin mornings. I did have a few sort of videos set up to watch and that, but do you know what? Once you get a gremlin day, it's like, where is it? Was something else. Definitely was something else I wanted to show you. It was probably to do with Nanos. So we're waiting to see what happens with Nanos. They've had this meeting about him. They're trying to get rid of him. Do you think they'll succeed? Do you think they should succeed? I personally think they should succeed. That would be my best thing that could happen is if Nanos goes. There's always the thought that it can be better the sheriff, of course. Oh, bet the sheriff, bet the devil, Yeah, I think I just wanted to show you this. Let's see if it will play out. So this was in 2016 after Nanos had been investigated. And this was part of an interview that he did then. So that's what I'm going to show you before, and then I'll finish. So he hasn't made any secret of the fact that he doesn't like the FBI. He's maybe he's got good reason not to like them. because he was investigated. And that investigation, it wasn't only him, there were other people, one of which I think took his own life. So this was a serious investigation, I suppose. And I've got to remove that one. Hang on. Let's just have a look at this.
Am I upset at the FBI? Absolutely. They should. They get by with saying no comment. Who does that in today's world? Who does that?
So there he is saying the FBI get away with saying no comment. Who does that in today's world? That's what he's done for the last God knows how long. No comment. Or when he was asked if he had a message for the Guthrie family on Mother's Day, he said, no, I'm all right, thanks. And here he is, criticizing. Look, you can see this man's eye. I always say the eyes are the windows to the soul. If you look at this man's eyes, he's not, I think he's a vindictive man, and I think you can see it in his face. So yeah, he's criticizing the FBI for saying no comment, but that's what he does.
Yet they get by with that. And when this thing's all resolved and the case is all over, I challenge him. I challenge Mr. Black to stand up to that camera by himself and say, we have looked at this investigation and we have exonerated, completely find this investigation to be total BS, because that's what it is.
Is it though?
Am I upset at the FBI?
No, as I say, we have to say he was not accused. He was not prosecuted with anything. So, we have to remember that. He's saying it was absolute BS, this investigation. Maybe it was, and he wants them to come out and say that. He doesn't want them to say no comment, but that's what he's doing now. As you say, Lily, he's a total trump. And I agree with you as well that if I lived near Nancy and got that communication saying don't lay any more flowers, go and do this instead, I would go the next day with about 10 bouquets of flowers. How dare they tell people what to do? Really? Bloody. Do you know what they remind me of? Here in Spain, I don't know if any of you know, but a lot of places, they have like communities, so you'll have like a residential complex, is probably similar to that. And you'll have they call it the comunidad, and everybody, if it's got communal areas, so that you pay your community fees every year, and that pays for the upkeep of the pool and the gardens. And anyway, and then they elect a president of the community. Oh my God, they're like the Gestapo. They start trying to tell people how to live their lives. You can't do this, you can't do that. And they go all completely against the law in Spain a lot of the time, because they just make the rules up to suit themselves. And the thing is, you quite often get a bad person as the president of these communities because nobody else wants to do it. As most people, they just want to live their lives, don't they? Have their nice gardens and have the pool kept nice. But yeah, most people don't really want to get involved in the nuts and bolts of deciding budgets and this, that, and the other and all. And it's a difficult thing to be the president. But unfortunately, then what happens? You get the idiots rising to the top, because the ones that love it, because they're bored, like maybe they're retired and they're bored stiff, and they like to go around saying, I'm the president of the community. Sadly, you do get these bad people in all walks of life, don't they? Same with politics and things. The people who end up leading, they're not always nice people, because most nice people, they don't want to lead. They just want to live their lives, be with their families, have a nice life, go to work, come home, earn a decent wage, go on holiday, go out for meals every now and again, just have it. But so the ones that sort of like him, like this tosser, the ones that rise to the top, it's all ego, isn't it? You get a lot of ego with it. So we get that here a lot in Spain, in the communities, the presidents of the community. You do get some that are good, don't get me wrong, you get some that are good. But sadly, you get a lot of people who volunteer to be the president of the community because they like the power it gives them. They love saying I'm the president, and they try and tell everybody else what to do. Some people, you'll always get people like that, sadly.
Absolutely. They should. They get by with saying no comment. Who does that in today's world?
Who does that? You.
Who does that?
You.
Yet they get by with that. And when this thing's all resolved and the case is all over, stop and say, we have looked at this investigation and we have exonerated, completely find this investigation to be total BS, because that's what it is.
Yeah. Well.
Am I upset at the FBI?
So what do you think? Do you think that Nanos will survive this? Do you think he should survive it? I personally don't. That's my opinion. I don't live there, thank God. Thank God. Oh my God. Imagine if you lived there and you had to deal with all this SHIT. And then there'll be people who live in that area who are looking at like this whole case and thinking, oh, my mum went missing 10 years ago. Nobody gives a SHIT. I wish people cared as much about my mum going missing, or my daughter, or my sister, or my auntie, or my dad, or how many people are out there and their family are missing and nobody cares. It feels like, nobody cares. And here you've got people who are getting this attention, and I include the family in this, I'm sorry. If you don't want attention for your missing mum, there's something wrong. You want the attention until she's found, and then you want your privacy, of course you do. But she has not been found. No one knows what's happened to Nancy. You should be grateful, and I'm sure the family are, I don't know, but you should be grateful that people are interested, invested, care about you and your mum and, what's happened to her. People do care. And I think it's really unfair that that circular that the president of the association put out, outsiders like, oh my God, it just outsiders, will deal with this. It's almost like some sort of cult, isn't it? It's like, we'll deal with this ourselves. We don't want any help from outsiders. Thank you. Oh my God, ridiculous. Right, I think that's all I've got to show you. But yeah, so there's a few things I want your comments on, if possible. I want you to, what do you think about Savannah hosting Wordle? What do you think about some people thinking that it might be a porch guy, might actually be porch gal? What do you think about Nanos? Do you think he will go, and do you think he should go? Or do you think he's maligned? Some people, to be fair, I haven't heard anyone say who comes out in support of Nanos. But yeah, you don't ever really see on all these podcasts, they have people talking about Nanos. Whoever says anything good about him? Nobody. But anyway, so that says something as far as I'm concerned. Where's his supporters? Anyway, what do you think? Do you think he should go? Do you think he will go? So that was it. I think that I wanted to know what you thought. Yeah, what do you think about these residents? How do you think you would feel? I mean, I know you don't. I mean, let's not forget as well. They don't live like if you look like if something like that happened along my street. My street, they're literally townhouses all joined together. They're like big terraces, really. You know, they're townhouses, they're tall and they're big, they go up a long way, they're not wide. And we all live next door to each other, you know, and they're so yeah, if our street is only small. So if you had the media lined up in ours, well, you couldn't do it. They just couldn't fit there, to be fair. And if you had streamers that, but let's not forget where they live. There's loads of room. You know, talk about making a mountain out of a molehill. Oh yes, you know, we've got no privacy. Of course you've got privacy. It's bloody massive. All your houses are massive, set back. You've got land around them. How is it affecting your privacy? Absolute rubbish. You know, I think they're completely dramatic and I think it's terrible. So anyway, I still hope, no matter that I might be an outsider, but I want Nancy to be found one way or another, some resolution for this family. I think they must be suffering, you know, but why don't people want help? Don't understand that. Why don't they want help? Now, it may be true that they are on the verge of a big breakthrough. You know, the DNA, of course, has gone to the proper lab now. Maybe there's something in the air, like people have been saying for months, something's about to break, something, you know, something's brewing. Is it? Is it though? I don't know. There it is. But I hope so. I hope so, because I'll tell you what, whoever that porch guy or gal is, hi, the boxing world. Yeah, it certainly is baffling. That is perfect description of it, isn't it? Whoever this person is, porch guy or porch gal or whoever, whether you think this is a total staged kidnapping and maybe something completely different happened to Nancy. I think whoever took Nancy went to take her. I think this is a murder, and I think it was intended to be a murder, and I think the kidnapping thing is just a cover-up. That's my personal opinion, but I don't know. I feel like it was all staged, you know, to make it look as if it's been a kidnapping, but I don't believe it's been a kidnapping. I think there's maybe Nancy has lent some money to someone or borrowed some money to someone, and they couldn't pay it back, or, you know, and this is their way of dealing with it. I've watched many cases where people have done exactly that. Just because they couldn't repay debts, they've killed that person as a way of solving the fact that they don't have to pay the debt anymore. And I think whoever this person is, they know Nancy, they know the house, very comfortable around that house, I thought. You'd think that was pitch black at Nancy's house, and they just sauntered up. You know, they didn't look nervous. They looked comfortable. They were in that house for 40 odd minutes. What were they doing? How did they blend into the background? You know, this bloody residents association talking about outsiders. Shame they weren't so vigilant about outsiders before Nancy was taken, because, you know what, maybe Nancy would still be here one way or another. I can't believe that Nancy is alive. I would love to think, you know, she might be found alive, but it just doesn't seem likely, does it, sadly? Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got to say. Thank you for watching. Please remember to leave your DNA on the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell. Put your DNA everywhere. That's all free ways you can help my channel, and I'll let you know anything that comes up about Nancy or any of the other cases we're covering as soon as it does. Thank you so much. Take care. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.